baby's home. Cairo, Cairo is my baby's home. Going back to Cairo now, won't be long. Women in Cairo, they will treat you kind and sweet. Women in Cairo, they will treat you kind and sweet. Catch you around and take you off your feet. Shoot you and knock you, teach you and cut you too. Shoot you and knock you, teach you and cut you too. They get through the graveyard, then for you. Women in Cairo send you down to your grave.
I meant to say hello and welcome with the microphone on. So, how are you doing, guys? I hope everything is fine. Today's episode is number 99. One more to go. And there's a special subject today that kind of arose from things that have happened lately, not only when it comes to live streaming, in my life, around me. And so I thought of taking a song that's really connected to that kind of feel. And I'm not saying that this is going to be a sad episode in any way. It's just a kind of a little reminder of things that we're so often missing to do, to notice, to be grateful for. And before I start sounding too cheesy and you all just leave, I'll get on to it after the blues backup that we'll start off with as usual. But the thing is that I wanted to do this song, Swing Low Sweet Chariot, for many months now lately. And somehow I just didn't get the chance to put it into a context with something else. And now, in the live stream number 99, I got a clear picture of why am I playing that song, because there always has to be a reason why I do something here. And I'd like to share that with you. It's a feeling, it's my view on things, some perspectives that I'd like to share with you. So without too much philosophy into it, let's just get on with yeah, with a backup. So it's going to be in standard tuning, just key of E, as we usually do. So we're really going back to basics, and I think I've done a little. Okay, I'll try to stay still, like here, like this. Good. All right, let's go. Yeah, that was it. Blues backup in standard tuning, key of E. Some new stuff that I did was that I combined a little bit more the, let's say, the lick or the grip with the bass runs, which can be played this way, all 12 bars and everything. But I did this. So kind of you replace one of the bass lines with this. And what you need for that is the first a really good routine to be able to play this nice and smooth with a lot of damping, either on your fretting hand, with your fretting hand, or with the picking hand. So I am damping with my fretting hand here, sorry, picking hand, with the rest of my hand down here. But at the same time, I'm kind of bouncing off of the strings with my fretting hand. As soon as I play a pattern, I kind of release it and then dampen it. You see? So even if I don't dampen with my picking hand, like, that's where the damping comes. So if you do it on with both hands, you get this. A second second way of doing it could also be that you kind of play more with the thumb, with the flash of your thumb, than with a nail. You don't have to have a long nail for that. I have a fairly short nail, so you can see here. I keep them fairly short, a millimeter, maybe, 1.5 millimeters, and then kind of angle the thumb when I'm picking these things. Like, this is just a flash. And then you add some nail. This kind of flash nail, and then you get where the most of the job is done with a nail. And there are situations where I play this. Let's say if I play Jimmy Reed's Any Way You Want Me, I would start like this. You got me running, you got me hiding, right? And you kind of set the pace with that kind of, very groovy, very punchy bass line and bass riff, and then you later on go into the dampening. So already there, only playing the basses and that basic run, you have some nice dynamics to take from. And then you add, like, say, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then combine it with this. I kind of let that note ring for a while, or just cut it off right away to make it different each time I play it. And then there's this line that's combined with the turnaround. The turnaround in blues in E, a very common one is, right? So combining that with the basses, and you can even play, and then you go to A. So you take the parts of the turnaround and put them into a lick within the rhythm. That's the first thing that I did. And then when it comes to turnarounds, while I'm at it, you got this. This can be done in several ways. First, you can do, so you can kind of skip the squeaks of moving fingers over the strings, which is kind of very emphasized now when I'm playing into these studio microphones. So it's I need to be careful not to squeak too much into your ears, especially if you're watching and having your headphones on. So it's like, oh. But anyway, so what happens here is that I'm kind of playing that lick, and then I release the strings. I just don't press them anymore, but then I dampen them at the same place, like, you see? I'll let the first string ring. Because the turnaround can be played with lots of kind of open ringing strings, and then you go back to the groove when you're damping everything. And that's also a nice solution for the dynamics here. It's like a... And then you back to the groove. It gets really... So, as I very often say, I'm kind of getting boring with that, but keep it simple, but make it groovy. That's my key to this kind of playing. All right, yeah, I forgot, sorry, to say hi to the people in the chat because I just wanted to get on with it, start playing. Hello, Patrick, great to see you. Happy Blue Monday, I'm working, but I will listen and enjoy. All right. Exactly what I did today when I was working and watching David Hunt's live stream. I kind of jumped right in the, 5 minutes after he started, then I was like a fly on the wall, just listening, lurking there. And then I just wrote in the chat, I can't talk today because I didn't have the time. But I watched the replay afterwards. It was great. Gore, great to see you again. Thanks for coming today. Cape Hill, evening. Good to see you as well. Oh, Arpis Jakoma. This was a long time ago. My old friend from my hometown in former Yugoslavia. Zdravo. Pete, now I know who you are. This is great because I've seen your name, YouTube name. I guess that's your real name, right? Sounded familiar earlier as well, but then, Heather and her Huddle Up live stream. Yeah, Pete and I are together in a group of people who are watching a weekly live stream by Heather Ramirez on YouTube. Heather Just Create is her channel. And it's just a wonderful kind of gathering that challenges us to do the things that we're supposed to do, that we told ourselves that we're going to do, but we're not doing them yet. So, or we have, trouble kind of really fulfilling to the 100%. Oh, look at my t-shirt. Always give 100% unless you're donating blood. So it's a wonderful gathering, and I'm really inspired by that. So great to see you here as well, Pete. Great stuff. And Norwegian Attack as usual. Hello, Geir. Great to see you too. So this would like a problem with saying that I'm going to do something and then I don't do it, or saying what I would like to do but then I never really get to it and all that. That goes really, really well with today's theme and the things that I'm just going to talk about for a little while, and then we'll go on with the song, Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. So I do have to admit, I will have to read through not to read from my notes, but I have to look at some stuff that I kind of really want to think about before I say anything, because this is a touchy subject. It's a really touchy subject. I'll try to keep the song simple because, trust me, there are very often, most of the time, only two fingers that are going to be fretting with their left hand, or a fretting hand if you're a lefty, sorry. And usually it's going to be, or mostly, it's going to be picking with only three fingers or playing only three strings, mostly picked together in my kind of version of Swing Low, Sweet Chariot in open D. So we're going to emphasize the chord shapes, and we're also talk about the melody, how I play it, and some maybe solutions or suggestions for a little bit of improvisation around the basic melody. And there are so many versions of this song. It's been, well, nothing that I've read in books, but I've read it on Wikipedia, and this is quite a trusty source over there. So the song originates from around 1865, and it was written by a person, and then or composed by a person, and then another person would kind of write it down, and they created a sheet of music, and that was released and published in those early days. Before gospel was called gospel. At the time, it was called Negro Spirituals, and it's a spiritual song. And there are many kind of ways to look at the song where people could sometimes believe that the lyrics to early spirituals were not only what they were, I mean, literally, but they had some other meaning, kind of hidden meaning that they told us things that they're not allowed to say out loud because of the captain, because of there were slaves, because of lots of things around that. So that's a really nice angle to it. All right. Abby, great to see you too as well. Hello. And Dan, good. Did I hear some Lonnie Johnson in there? Oh, yeah, of course. There was some stuff by Lonnie every time I play, I guess. So this goes along the story I gave here before, that we need this with fingers, how many fingers we're going to need for these chord shapes and things we're going to play and swing low. It's because this goes along with something that I told you before, that we always need to be aware to 100% what we're picking, where, when, and why. All right, this should be a course. But basically, I've seen a lot of people that I kind of sometimes jam, play with, having my groups in workshops and so on, who are not really aware of what their mostly picking hand is doing. It's when you compare some really accomplished finger pickers of the old days. Think of Blind Blake. Think of Blind Boy Fuller. Think of Pink Anderson. And then later on when Merle Travis came. Merle Travis was a sponge who just kind of assimilated, kind of gathered all the influences that came before him. And he was the first one to really carry on that tradition of one guitar is an orchestra. He could do it so smooth that you just wouldn't realize how complex and actually difficult it was. But at times he wasn't playing so many notes and he wasn't picking too many strings, but those things he played, those notes we've heard, were exactly at the right spot at the right time, and he meant it with every millisecond of every arrangement he made. So that's what I'm trying to explain to whoever I may be helping to play better. And I'm trying to apply that to myself as well, that I always need to be aware of why am I playing this note. And this backup that I'm playing for you guys every Monday, I always have a reason why I want to emphasize a note or two, why I take the grip and not maybe a melody line, why I jump to the 7th or 9th fret to do something and not just stay here on the first 3-4 fret as I could do, no problem. So I believe that we can play simple but extremely groovy and beautiful if we're just more aware of what we're doing all the time. Right. And okay, I was thinking also about this with when you say a level of playing, most of the times when I teach workshops, people who arrange these workshops like to put it into kind of beginner class, intermediate class, intermediate to advanced class, and that's a very tricky way to put these things, because what is advanced? For me, somebody who doesn't play, complicated, who plays very distinct, simple maybe lines to play, but in a dynamic way that's complex and let's say gives a fantastic backup to a singing of some kind or whatever, that's advanced for me. So it doesn't have to be complicated to be advanced. Right, so yeah. And there's also this, who's a professional musician and who's seasoned musician? Where's the difference? There are, websites on the internet discussing this matter, like a professional or somebody who has gone through training, who's got a degree in something, and then he's kind of pursuing that career within that and is on the professional level, and they're getting paid for that. And then let's say musicians. Okay, so they went to Berkeley or something, and what about the rest of us? We are seasoned musicians. Or we can be called seasoned professionals, which means we don't have the education, but we have the skill. Many people have the skill. So that's also something that I was contemplating around a little bit prior to this. But okay, so let me just change the guitar. Sorry for the noise. Good. I'm plugging in because there's going to be something that's plugged in. Let me see. I'm in the middle of your screens. Looks good. Only this camera needs to be go. Not that much. Sorry, guys. I just want to make it perfect for you guys so that you don't have to we are talking business. Good. So the reason for this today, playing this song and talking about this, is a very recent loss of some people in my life and in the lives of people that I know and love. And these people were important to me and to them. And then a father of a great friend passed away recently. And today I'd like to mention one of them because I have a personal connection to this person. And this is related to everybody who might be watching this who lives in former Yugoslavia, Serbia, and the, now countries, but former parts of the former Yugoslavia, where I grew up, and the blues scene in Belgrade that started around late 70s, beginning 80s, and officially by establishing a blues club called Machinac in Belgrade, where the Blue Monday name to my live stream comes from. So I'm not original with that. So Blue Monday was Mondays at this club that became a blues club at one of the universities in Belgrade. And that's where we started kind of hanging out, talking about music. Some of us were already playing. There were already a couple of bands. They were like playing, but they were not going out and playing too much. So this was a perfect opportunity to get gigs and to meet other people who also love the blues. And one of those people who started one of the first bands was Crnke, Dragoljub Crncevic Crnke. He was the originator of the Point Blank blues band at the time. And they were one of the first bands that, got the record deal. They recorded, they released a record, they went on tour. They were quite popular. And we kind of hung out, all of us together. And Crnke, he was a very special character, very determined to do his own thing. And he did it until the last day. So he remained himself, delivered some wonderful songs, some beautiful grooves in his many iterations of this band. The latest combination was a trio. So I was sad to hear about his passing a couple of days ago, and I thought of just mentioning him and maybe dedicating this live stream to his memory, and then also to the memory of a couple of friends that I also lost over the last couple of months. Yeah. So and then I'm trying not to make this too cheesy, but when you connect a song like Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, Come Along and Carry Me Home, there is something about it. There's something with the message of that song. And one of our very frequent viewers here, David Hunt, has his own channel where he plays piano. And he played this song, I think 3 or 4 times. And I was very inspired by listening to him about my own version that I did in Open D. And actually, while I was preparing for this, I realized that one of the melodies that I'm kind of developing this original melody with is actually something that I wrote to a very dear friend of mine who passed away 15 years ago or something. And I played that at the funeral. And I just didn't connect that to Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, but it's a very similar melody line. So these are the basics: melody, a little bit of chords in the background, appropriate basses, and that's it. There are many versions of this song, and I've just listened to maybe 5 or 6 of them prior to the live stream and these last couple of days. And I've heard B.B. King's version from his early career. I think this was recorded in the 50s. And it was a very gospel-y arrangement with a swing low, sweet chariot, right? And in that version, it was the first time I've heard this kind of B part that doesn't go like, only the refrain all the time, because very often you just hear this being repeated with 2 or 3 different verses, but basically that's what they're singing all the time. Swing low, sweet chariot, come on, take me home, and so on. And then B.B. King's part was good. Listen, if we kind of speed up the whole thing, right? Swing low, sweet chariot, come along, you carry me home. You swing down, chair, stop, let me ride. Why don't you swing down, chair, stop, let me ride. Rock and roll, slow and easy. I've got a home on that other side. I see the swing low, sweet chariot. Right. So just that we are aware that there's this other part of the song that I didn't hear with so many versions. So this is from B.B. King. Just look for a song, for the song on Spotify or Apple Music, and you'll find it. So just another little thing that I'd like to tell you about before I show this in detail, and we'll go through the chord shapes in much more detail. Because to be honest, the melody of the song is quite easy to play with slide. The complexity, or let's say the deepness of your own maybe version, can be the combination of chord shapes and the melody and kind of these nice overlapping of the chords and the slide melody. Actually, I'm following this author, writer, publicist, Ryan Holiday, who is he wrote many books, and he is a daily Stoic. If you're familiar with the Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, and lots of others, I was reading them a lot when I was younger and kind of came back to them at this later age in my life. It's like, okay, I'm not getting younger, and you're kind of seeking meaning all your life, of course, but somehow I'm much more aware of that now when I'm, older. I'm 64 now in April, so it's like, well, whatever. He just had a podcast episode today, and he said, oh, I'm going to set you up for a challenge. And people don't like challenges. People actually, what they want is a secret or a shortcut or a hack for something to achieve something. They don't like challenges too much because they want someone to solve the challenges for them. Now, this is very much generalized and whatever. But embracing life challenges is actually everything that Stoicism is about. So let me just give you a couple of quotes. A person who has never been challenged, Seneca said, who always gets their way is a tragic figure. They have no idea what they're capable of, and they're not even close to fulfilling their potential. This is wonderful. Marcus Aurelius said to himself, get busy with life's purpose. Toss aside empty hopes. Get active in your own rescue if you care for yourself at all, and do it while you can. This could be a kind of a B-side of a single called Seize the Day, Carpe Diem, and this old idiom that became very, very cheesy lately. But when I kind of faced these past couple of losses and everything, I mean, you do get affected, and you do get aware of the things passing, life passing, time passing. And I know many, many people who were, anxious when it comes to these things in life. Because one of the best ways to deal with anxiety, with stress, and to become present is to really throw yourself into some means of self-improvement. Cheesy? Sorry. Break out, break free, get cleaning, challenge yourself. Yeah, okay, that's where we're going to leave Ryan Holiday. But, I mean, in my life, I meet people at my work. I work as a business developer at a study association. We deal with creative people, very sensitive people, musicians, creators of all kinds, associations with people who work within nonprofit organizations. They all have to deal with some real issues, either to help somebody else or being a creator, being sensitive, being very touchy to everything that's happening is something that can cause anxiety, that we kind of postpone things to avoid the real challenge and to avoid this delivery time that we're maybe not so sure we're going to be able to do. So I have plenty of people describing for me what they cannot do and why they can't do it, the best reasons in the world. And it's quite often related to guitar playing. The lack of time is non-existent. Everybody has 24 hours, of course. It's a lack of decisions about that time. That's the problem. So that's something that we all have. I have my problems with that. I have my projects that I've been postponing for ages, for years. Just talk about this live stream. I was ready in 2020 when the pandemic hit. I had all the equipment. I didn't know as much as I know now when it comes to, video settings and setting up the scene like this and everything. But I could have live streamed then as well. But I wasn't ready because I was scared that somebody's going to judge me. Somebody's going to say that, oh, come on, man, you can't do that. Give me a break. It's the same thing when you have the stage fright. You're going to stand up there in front of lots of people, and who am I to play for them? And that is not only reserved for people who are kind of not professionals. Lots of great artists have a very low self-esteem and very, I wouldn't call it low self-respect or something, but they are really doubtful. They don't see themselves with the same eyes that we see them. So is there any justice in that those people whom I lost now lately were a perfect example of somebody who never postponed anything. They did it all the way through, all the time. They never stopped. And they had to leave us. Is there justice with all that? So let's do it. Let's challenge ourselves. Let's challenge ourselves with this wonderful song. If nothing else, when we're done, go through your to-do list, through your notes, pick up the projects that have been, lying in a drawer somewhere, and you're telling yourself and everybody around, oh, I'll do that next year. I'll do that next summer. Nope. Do it now. Swing low. So, the chords. Swing low, we're in open D. So the notes in open D are the first treble strings is D. So we go down from E to D. Second string is A. We go from B down to A, whole step. Then we have F sharp. Then we have D and A. So the fourth and the fifth strings are the same as in standard tuning. And then we have the sixth string, the big bass, from E down to D, whole step. So in the open D tuning, we have 3 D notes. 1, 2, 3. Sixth, fourth, and the first string. Then we have 2 A's on second and the fifth string. And then we have the third of the D major chord, which is F sharp, on the third string. So I'm going to utilize these things a lot when it comes to the chords that I choose for Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. So swing low, already here, I'm only picking the sixth, third, and the first string. I'm not doing swing low. So I'm doing swing low, and I play them 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. This I can say for another place within a song, or when I maybe accompany singing of somebody, maybe myself. So you always have at least 2 ways to play every of these grips, either with the whole hand just brushing down and then making sure that you, let's say if you want to play this form of G chord, which is on the 5th fret, when we fret the 6th string on the 5th fret, then the 3rd string also on the 5th fret. But what I'm doing here is I'm dampening the 2nd bass string, should I call it A string? Although, yeah, it's still A, sorry, yeah. So I brush with my thumb downwards, but you don't hear the 5th string. It goes like this. And then I can also dampen the 2nd string by just kind of lowering my ring finger here just a little bit, so I dampen that as well, and then you can get this. It's kind of cleaner with a quotation marks than so the note A doesn't really live nicely with this chord, so I just kind of dampen it all the time. So these are 2 ways already to start with that we can play some chords and chord shapes. And very often I will be playing 6th, 3rd, and the 1st string in many of these grips. So from swing low, sweet, now we need G, sweet chariot. So either to pick the G chord here or here. Difference, a ring and a little bit more here, and then so the G form on the first 2 frets is 2nd fret of the 5th string, and then the 1st fret on the 3rd. Sorry, just realized it wasn't in the frame when I was picking this chord. So the first shape, this one on the 5th fret, and then on the first 2 frets. The full G chord here would be, so we need to fret on the 2nd fret, 2nd string as well. But it sounds a bit nicer like this. So when I'm switching between these two chords, watch my picking hand. I'm playing the big bass, third and the first string in both, but then I just move to the fifth string with when I play the G. So that's the first thing. And then you can also play. So the first chord is played kind of simultaneously. All three strings picked at the same time. When I switch to G, I go. So swing low, sweet chariot. Already a little dynamic kind of twist to this when I'm doing like that, right? Or I just jump. Chariot, come along to carry me home. We go to A, chord of A, and the grip is here. So the second fret, fourth string, first fret, third, and the first string on the second fret, and then the fifth string here. So that would be your A chord, right? So I didn't make any special twists around these three chords here in the beginning, but there are some ways that we can play this more, not complicated, but a bit more advanced. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. That's the first way. We can also play come along to carry me home. What I played here was the B minor. So I placed fingers on the second fret, second string, second fret, fifth string. So that's your B minor. I told you it's going to be easy grips here. Only two fingers most of the time, right? Lots of open strings. That's it. I keep my promises. So, come along to carry me home. Another chord that we could throw in here would be the E chord. And the E chord is basically, since we're in open D, first fret is D sharp, and then the second fret is the E chord. So how this all hangs together is like this. Swing low, sweet chariot, come along to carry me home. Swing low, and so on. So what I did here is that I grabbed the E chord by pressing only two strings, third and the sixth on the second fret, but I kept the first string still on the D. And that note D is a seventh of the E chord. That's right. So it's they kind of dance nicely together, and it's also ringing so nicely when you have this drone first string, like a come sweet chariot. So you hear that first string all the time, and I'm watch my picking hand. I'm only playing three strings at the time. I'm kind of switching, but it's always three strings at the time. Swing low, sweet chariot, come along to carry me home. Swing low. This can also be played the other way. So let's try the third way. Swing low, sweet chariot, come along to carry me home. Swing low. I've heard some, organ players do this kind of changes, and many famous players kind of adopted this way of playing. Rykuder is also one of the masters of combining this. Man, I've been studying that guy. Fantastic. So anyway, before we switch to the chord of G, swing low, sweet chariot, that's where these nice kind of scale runs come into play. If you remember, a couple of live streams ago, I was showing scales in open D, how we can go from the 1st fret to the 12th fret in a scale manner. So let's say that would be our scale in D major, right? But then we can also add the 3rd to that, so we have the harmony here. So and remember that this shape, where the fingers are not on the same fret, where the index finger is 1 fret behind while we're playing on the 1st string. So it's only until we come to the 5th, 7th, and the 12th fret. Those are on the same fret, but everything else is like this. So you play open strings, and then you get same fret, same fret, same fret. So. And backwards. Music starts when you do. When you combine basses with where you are on the fret here. So, right? Now I have a slide on my finger, so I can't, without the slide, I would kind of fret it like this. But now with the slide, I have to twist it around. So, I see. Already here, I'm on on A, and then you meet it with the D again. And then when you learn how to play this scale, then you can start jumping around these same shapes on each fret that I showed you. Say, or backwards, something like it. Now to the B minor, sorry, E, A, and D. So combining these scales with these wonderful basses and chord combinations is already something that you can play for months before you get bored. And I don't think you'll ever get bored with this. So swing low. Oh, sorry. I'm so eager to show you that I'm making mistakes. So swing low, sweet chariot, coming on to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Oh, this wasn't so nice, but okay. Swing low, chariot, coming for to carry me home. That was okay. So what I did here is that I apply the same scale and basically the same notes in the same pattern, but on different strings. So instead of, I played, so what I'm playing on the 1st string in these higher octaves, I'm playing on the big basses now. And then I'm following with the same notes on the 3rd string. So the 3rds are coming there. So swing low, or just follow chromatically. Swing low. Again, just picking 3 strings. Swing low, swing chariot. I could have played swing sweet chariot, come back to D. I would do this a couple of times, but then later on in the song I go swing low, swing chariot, and this little twist kind of going back to D. Come for to carry me home. And also there's a reason why I'm letting these chords ring behind the singing, whatever. Don't listen to my singing, but there's always a reason why I let the strings ring or not. Maybe if somebody would sing with a bit more kind of feeling, more phrasing or something, then I would maybe coming for carry me home, swing low. So there are different ways to play it. A third thing that you can throw in is this little thing that I actually owe my good friend Emil Arnebro, amazing Swedish guitar player and amazing human being. He used this in either open D or in drop D, but that note before you go to G was this one. So I don't play swing low, swing chariot. No, he added this swing chariot. So that was beautiful. So you can combine that with the first part that I showed you. So swing low, sorry, swing low, swing chariot. And that note that he kind of made me aware of then also led me to continue with doing something on the basses, right? So swing low, swing chariot. So this is a common chord change that our current visitor who just came in, our viewer, my distinguished colleague, Mr. David Hunt. Hello, David. Hello, everyone. Oh, I missed Abby's comment when she said, this was a long time ago, sorry. I love Sister O.M. Terrell's version, though it's almost a completely different tune. Damn, I haven't heard that one. And she didn't show up in my search. I'm only listening to Apple Music, so maybe I wasn't paying attention 200%. I'll definitely check her out. Definitely. Thank you, Abby. Yeah. Hello, David. Great to see you here. And actually, you've been mentioned a couple of times today because I was listening to two of your various live streams where you played Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. And some of those chord shapes you were doing on your piano were just mind-blowing, just amazing. I mean, David is a bit younger than I am, but he's much deeper in the gospel tradition. And I'm really learning so much from his live streams and from his playing. Sometimes it can be a very, very kind of simple things, but the way he treats those basses, the left hand runs and chords is just beyond the horizon. So I'm showing you this because so I'm coming back to the D chord, but I'm not playing the full chord, but I'm playing the note of A on the 7th fret because that's convenient to grab there. Because swing low, swing chariot, coming from to carry me home. And now from this chord of E that I've showed you, you can have a wonderful kind of scale run to the chord of A that we need. But we're not going to play it here. We're going to play it up here. But we're going to go from E to A like this. Swing low, swing chariot, A, G, D. Come along to B minor. Carry me home, swing low. So this is one. And then if you want to come back to D, you can always do it here. Yeah, this. You kind of double the first string with the same octave, and you get this really ringing chord. But there's another way to do it. So I hope I sold you this chord shapes and these runs here, but I'll do it slowly now so that we kind of get the whole picture. So it was within swing low, swing chariot, come along to B minor, and then you have the E. That's the first one. So same fret, and then we have the 4th, 3rd, sixth, fifth, and then A, and the drone first string, kind of dissonant, but when you play it kind of in this right pace, it just fits perfectly. So this is one way. The second one, and instead of staying on the A chord, you can go from A to D again, but going upwards. And why am I not playing? I want to play those notes on the 12th fret because it's a different register, it's a different octave. It's just a swing low, sweet chariot. And this is also something that I'm always recommending people, trying to find your chords on several places on the neck. The difference between let's say piano and the guitar is that on piano it's about octaves, but let's say 3 notes that you put as a chord or a chord shape or a lick, they sound the same wherever you play them in, well, if you just move them by octave up or down. There are different ways to play the same chord, you know, emphasizing the bass part or the treble part of the whole register. Of course, much more complex than on the guitar because still you got 2 hands. But up here in open D, I've discovered that, okay, the D chord can be this can be D, this can be D, this can be D, this can be D, and then there's this little shape up here. So if you just grab the same grip as you had on the G chord here, on the first 2 frets, just move it all the way up to, most of the guitars will have the marker here on the 9th fret. So it's on the 9th fret. And there's this nice sus kind of, which is same as, but when you play it up here on the neck, it's got a different kind of dimension. And now we come to this, and I told you, when you brush with your fingers, with your picking hand, will give you the totally different groove to it. So we came all the way, sweet low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. This is so beautiful. I get, you know, chills down my back here because it gave me exactly what I needed. I was on the way somewhere. I was, you know, swing low, sweet chariot, come along and carry me home, right? And then you repeat it, but you start from the high, which means you're going down, which means maybe you're going down the hill, maybe you're following, maybe you're taking that coach, maybe it's just kind of releasing the whole tension in the song, in the lyric, and it goes swing low, sweet chariot. So I kind of release the, you know, the heavy bass from, I could, those notes would be natural to play. Swing low, swing chariot, right? But I choose to play swing low, sweet chariot. So this, I kind of just brush downwards with my nail, and I make sure I do it with a nail, not, it needs to be this kind of ringing. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. And I didn't use the E chord here. I just thought it would be too complicated. It would just add too much to it. So I didn't play swing, chariot, come along to carry me home. Not this time. At another place in the song, I would have maybe added it. So finally, now we got this chord out of the way, there's this beautiful chord that is on your 4th fret with all strings pressed, and then you add the 4th string on the 5th fret, and then you add the open 5th string. And then we play the melody, 7th fret. That's it. It's up to you how you're gonna kind of emphasize the melody lines. Like there's this swing low, either just straight 7th, 4th. I like to add that, and then I go to the 5th fret. So watch my picking hand. Again, only 3 strings, 6th, 3rd, 2nd, and then I pick 3rd string, and then I release everything. So, sorry. And then I glide to the 5th fret on the 2nd string, with a note of A, because we're going to the chord of A, which we can play, in whole as a chord. But this is important for me to play this note with a slide, although it's the same note as on the open string. So from the beginning. To play it. So this involves a little bit of damping, extra damping, and you need to be aware of where your fingers are. So, and after that, I need to dampen that note, and then I need to move the slide to the 4th fret on the 1st string and play that note while I'm kind of dampening the rest of the strings. You see? 2nd and 3rd strings are dampened behind the slide. Oh, sorry, I'm moving all the time. I want to get into the camera. I want to come to you and show you stuff. I'm a mess today. Sorry. So, this is something that I really love to do, and I kind of apply this lick in almost every melody that I play. I love to come to the note from beneath. I love to do, and then, and this melody could also be played only on the 2nd string, like this. So I would maybe improvise by doing this like once, like the first time I showed you, and then 2nd time from 5th fret to 9th to the 12th fret on the 2nd string. So you get that effect of kind of long into that chord from above. What I did here is the last lick I'm going to be showing you today. So it's like this is a tricky one if you're not a seasoned guitar player, and if you haven't practiced slide before and maybe you still don't have the full control over the slide, but as soon as you've learned how to vibrate and play some really nice and clean notes on the slide, this is not going to be so difficult. You just need to be deliberate in which notes you really want to play. So I want to find this do, 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 do. And this is how I started playing these. And remember, it's always about the intonation is the king. So you first need to nail that. And then the vibrato, which could be easily applied to every note that lasts longer than a second, I think. So. Another lick. And this, I don't succeed with this all the time. Sometimes it's better to do this with when I'm electrified, when I play live. Somehow pick up sometimes make things easier, sometimes much more difficult, but I don't know. Sometimes it works like that. But I'll just show you which notes I'm playing. So I'm going from... And then from here, I go from 5th to the 6th fret, very slow, fast, or very... So as, you know, the fastest I can, I will release the slide after that because I want this melody. And can be played here, so... But this is more challenging, and we're talking about challenging today, right? Now I'm in it. Also, another very long jump. And this is something that you will be able to play really easily if you've practiced these, let's say, like picking a note and then just kind of playing several other notes with your slide to get that control. I mean, pick any notes. Oh, when the saints go marching in, I'm gonna lay down. Start from there. Learn where the notes are. And then when you're familiar with that, then just apply slide playing to that. And the rule number 1 is the 4th step method that I've showed you several times before, which means that I always place my finger on the string I'm about to play. Then I place my fretting hand on the string that I'm about to play. Then I place the slide on the string and then I pick it. That way I don't get this or anything similar to that. So 1, 2, 3, pick. 1, 2, 1, 2, place a slide, pick. So this is over exaggerated. This is very slowly done, but this is what I apply every time before I would play any note with the slide. Damn, all right. Oh, David, you're much too kind, my friend. Thank you. Abby wrote, love that passing note and what you did with it after. Very, thank you. Thank you. Can't go with that A13B9. I might steal that. You mean that you found the name for this? Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, swing chariot, coming for to carry me I mean, this song is something so inspiring, and I mean, it could last me a lifetime to master it, and I guess it will. Thank you so much. Oh, Gore is throwing a bomb. Great, Gore. Ambidextrous March by Sam Mitchell is a challenge to you. Oh man, it definitely is. It's a great song, great song. Good. Well, thank you so much for coming today. This was a not a difficult, but a heavy one. I play this today for the memory, in the memory of my dear friend, a blues colleague, distinguished colleague of mine, Crnke in Belgrade in Serbia, who passed away a couple of days ago. And this was a way to remember him and those nice days we've spent together, playing on often same occasions, same festivals, in the same club, going on stage after each other, sometimes jamming and all that. So yeah, we ain't getting any younger. Good. But anyway, thank you so much for coming today. It's been a blast. I'm looking forward to the next week's live stream, which is going to be number 100. And after that live stream, I think I'll start doing something else. Maybe I'm not going to give up the live streams totally, but I don't think I'm going to be doing them in a weekly manner. Maybe I'm going to go monthly or bi-weekly or something. It depends. If I miss you too much, I might, do it more often. But I'm thinking of starting recording kind of proper YouTube videos, mostly because I really want to share kind of bites of knowledge of licks, phrases that I'm doing, grooves and everything to people who don't have a whole hour to give me of their time, who maybe can just scroll on YouTube and find a video that's like 7 to 10, 11, 12 minutes and just go into that. So yeah, I got many ideas. I wrote down almost 270, I think, ideas that I could do videos from. So it's like, yeah, it's a challenge and I really want to do it and I'm looking forward to it. But next week, this is what I'm looking forward to the most. So I hope I will see you all guys next week, and let's listen to the fantastic Sam Mitchell slide playing here. And I will thank you again for coming, and I will see you next week. Cheers.
Spring, one sunny day, my sweetheart left me, lost, she went away. Now she's gone, and I don't worry, but I'm sitting on top of the world. Things could call me up, down and out by soul. Said, come back, Daddy, Lord, I need you so. Now she's gone, and I don't worry, 'cause I'm sitting on top of the world. Like my peaches, don't you shake my tree. Get out of my orchard, let my peaches be. Now she's gone, I don't worry, but I'm sitting on top of the world. Spring, one sunny day, my sweetheart left me, now she went away. Now she's gone, I don't worry, but I'm sitting on top of the world. Now she's gone, I don't worry, but I'm sitting